Good morning, everyone. What's going on? Welcome to Mobius. How many of you actually remember Mobius? I remember when Mobius actually used to be a big part of gaming pop culture. And welcome to the Level 1 Podcast. I hope that you guys are in a good mood today because today is officially the start of the non-stop gaming releases. This morning we've got a new one. It's a big one. It's an exciting one. Jasper's obviously excited. Look at this. Look how excited he is for today's release. Me too. And then after that, we've got 2 on Friday. After that, we've got another one the week after. After that, we've got 2 more the week to week and a half after. And then we pretty much got consistent releases all through like November to December. So it is definitely the busiest gaming season of the year. I call it the hardcore gaming season, the fall or autumn gaming season, the busy gaming season, whatever you want to call it. But it is definitely in full swing as of today. And I'm excited for this, obviously. I am in attire that is appropriate for what we'll be doing today, right? I've even got the specific layout for Sonic today. I've even got appropriate lighting for the blue blur, right? Today is Tuesday, the 17th of October, 2023. I, of course, am Darkside Phil, and I welcome you here to the podcast. I hope that you're in a good mood. I am. Jasper is. We're all pumped, right? So, thanks for being here this morning. If you are here live, if you're not, if you're watching on demand, welcome as well. Hope that you're ready for some cool vibes and fun. Today, we have a couple things to talk about. First of all, I would like to try to figure out what the heck we're doing on the late stream tonight, because we really don't know. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. Should we continue on with master level online, ranked gameplay in Street Fighter 6, or should we maybe do something a little bit less serious? Should we actually do offline gameplay of the game and continue on with the story mode? I don't know. I want to talk with you guys about it and get your take on it, okay? In addition, the Halloween poll is in full swing. It has now been around 24 hours since the Halloween poll. I take it back, 36 hours since the Halloween poll has been running. And what I'd like to do is give you guys a preliminary idea of what people are voting for games for the upcoming Halloween Marathon event. That's going to be cool. No real news today. I've been checking game news. Nothing really going on. I think what's going to happen is as all these new games are releasing, there will be bigger discussion and hype around them. But we will also summarize my conclusion of Assassin's Creed Mirage from yesterday, as well as some developments in Starfield, as well as this kitty will probably be a prominent part of this show today because he wants to be. All right. So, how are you all doing, first of all? Fall weather today, but it is warm outside. Not warm, sunny outside, meaning that I kind of need to leave the blinds a lot more closed today than I've had the last couple of days where it was like cloudy and rainy. But it's fine. And, I'm excited for today being the premiere of a brand new game, and a game the likes of which we haven't seen in many years. If you remember, was it 2017? It was either 2017 or 2018. I get them confused. Sonic Mania released. And I remember when this game released, everyone was very skeptical. Everyone was like, we don't know if this is going to be any good. We haven't seen an actual 2D style Sonic game in a while, and the last few Sonic games before then had been huge flops, and everyone was wondering if this one would be any good. And when it came out, it absolutely blew everyone away. Like, wow, it plays like classic Sonic. It looks like classic Sonic. It has all of the spirit of the original Sonic trilogy, only it's new. It even had, the classic pixel art and all of that. So, it actually pleasantly surprised a lot of people who weren't really expecting much out of the Sonic franchise. And I would argue that Sonic Mania was the beginning of the turnaround for Sonic, as Sonic had almost a decade of bad games. You had games like Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations that were good, followed by some pretty big flops. Remember Sonic Forces? Remember Sonic Boom? Yeah. So it was kind of a big bad run for Sonic for a while there. And ever since Sonic Mania released, then it seems like Sonic did have a turnaround. We had Sonic Origins last year, which was a collection of the original games. Not to say that it really added much, but it was great to have those games represented on modern consoles in widescreen. And then you had Sonic Frontiers, which was, in my opinion, a good first attempt at taking Sonic into an open world 3D environment. Sonic needed kind of a reboot in that 3D, franchise, because the last few games that he had in the 3D realm just weren't very good. And I think that Frontiers was good. Not amazing, but still pretty darn good for what it was. And if they use that game as the groundwork for future Sonic 3D games, I think that it's going to do really well. So, earlier this year when Sonic Superstars was announced, to say, Sonic is coming back, but in the 2D capacity again. It's the same dev team as Sonic Mania, but rather than be a throwback retro game with old school graphics, it's going to actually be a brand new modernized game with, all kind of brand new visuals and gameplay effects and things. I'm like, that sounds good to me. Essentially this is the spiritual successor / sequel to Sonic Mania. So, you hope for the best. I've heard some mixed bag reviews about the game. For me, I'm going to judge it fairly, and I'm going to judge it for myself. I'm not going to let these reviews influence me. Honestly, a lot of people did not like Sonic Mania as much as I did. So maybe it's kind of that situation again. Or maybe the criticisms are warranted. Maybe it won't be as good as everyone hopes. I don't know, right? People are saying it's not the same team as Sonic Mania. I thought it was. I thought people were saying that there were, not the exact same team, but I thought some of the same people were on it. People are saying it's not. Well, then forget it. Forget everything I said. I'm completely wrong. And I strike that from the record. It's a bunch of jerks. It's a bunch of morons. It's a bunch of guys who suck ass at game development made this game. Okay, I made up. I don't even know who they are then. If it's, I don't know. Anyway, I guess we'll have to see how it turns out. That is the interesting part about this time of the year, is that you get so many games of so many types that release in a short period of time that, you gotta kind of see what's good, what's not. I don't know. I listen, I like 2D Sonic. I grew up with them. I got a Genesis just to play Sonic, essentially. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is my favorite game of the whole franchise. I absolutely loved Sonic Mania. I thought Sonic Origins was a great collection. So, you gotta hope for the best and hope that this will be good, right? I hope so. And let's find out today. So, I'm decked out in Sonic attire. And I announced this yesterday. Let's make it official. All right? During the entirety of Sonic Superstars, every single time I play this game, if we hit the hat goal of $100 of tips raised, I will put on the throwback classic long-standing Sonic the Hedgehog hat and wear it for that stream. Okay? So, thank goodness that this game released in the fall, because if this is released in the middle of the summer and I'd be sweating bullets wearing this thing, it would have been pretty uncomfortable. But, yes, the return of the Sonic hat. Have not worn this consistently in a very long time. So, yes, if we hit the hat goal, You will see the return of the Sonic hat. So if you want to see me wear this silly hat all day long, consider tipping today. I mean, it just so happens that tipping is the best way to support the streams right now with the amount of games I need to buy, with the delay in my YouTube payment this month, all of that going on. Tipping would help a lot anyway, but you get a really cool reward during this particular stream and other Sonic streams moving forward if we get that tips goal, so please consider it. Okay? Cool. So it's locked in. It's official. Sonic may be returning, Sonic hat, I should say, for this playthrough. Okay. Excellent. All right, so, let's talk. First of all, what I'd like to do is I would like to recap what we did yesterday. Then I need to talk about today, because I honestly don't know what we're doing on the late stream today. We've been talking about it all week, and we haven't really come to any kind of a consensus or agreement on what I should do on the late stream tonight. So I'm on the fence about it, all right? So we'll talk about that in a moment. But before we get to that, let's recap what happened yesterday, because yesterday was a very eventful day on my streams, okay? So first of all, yesterday's daytime stream was the conclusion of Assassin's Creed Mirage. And what I'd like to do is kind of give you my final thoughts on the game now that I've wrapped up the playthrough. It was actually one of the fastest playthroughs that I've actually gotten through in ages. If you take a look at, the game came out on a Friday, and it was the Monday after I beat it, not that week, but a week, so just under a week and a half to beat a game. I almost never these days complete any game in that short of a period of time, okay? And it's because I knew that there were so many more games coming out within the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, that I needed to get through this game so it wasn't a lingering playthrough. You know, something that aided in that is that Assassin's Creed Mirage was very short, only a 20-hour game. And because of that, it allowed me to really get through the meat of the meaningful stuff of it and not get hung up on menial side quests, grinding, open world exploration that really didn't have meaning just to pad the game. None of that really exists in the game, although there are side quests. They are completely skippable, and they don't really add anything, so unless you're trying to pad your playthrough, essentially, you don't have to do them. So, how can I best describe Assassin's Creed Mirage? If you're someone who played the classic Assassin's Creed games back in the day, and when I say the classics, I would say 1 through 4, okay? These were games that were very different than what the series eventually became, all right? Those games were based on stealth, sneaking, not getting detected during your missions, eavesdropping, tailing enemies, and doing stealthy kills and escaping after the kill. Because the whole key to those was that if you killed someone, you then had to get the hell out of there. Because if you didn't, you'd get detected, and you'd be flooded with overpowered guards who would kill you within a couple of hits. You were not some superpowered Terminator-like being that could parry and break through defenses and kill enemies with super abilities and insanely overpowered weapons. None of that existed back then at all right? It really was based on focusing solely on being sneaky. That's the whole idea. You're supposed to be part of an assassin's guild that's trying to go in and out of the shadows, assassinating people in power who are doing things wrong and, hurting the people, the common people. That was the whole idea. You know what I'm saying? So when the series ended up going in this other direction of open world exploration, more RPG-like, like The Witcher, it really did lose its way. Not to say that those games are bad. If you look at Origins, Odyssey, or Valhalla, they're all fine games in their own right. But for those who play the original Assassin's Creed, they don't feel like Assassin's Creed at all, right? This game, Mirage, attempts to get the series back on track of its old ways. And I even said this a year or two ago. People would ask me when I was playing like Valhalla, well, what do you think? Do you think that this formula could keep working, or do you think they need to go back to their roots? And my answer is very simple. They need to do both. And they have an audience for both. There are people who want the classic style of stealth back. And if you didn't know that, just look at the insanely positive reception to Ghost of Tsushima, a game that's not made by Ubisoft, but had stealth as well as, assassinations, that kind of cool combat mechanics, all that implemented. It did incredibly well, right? And everyone even said, wow, Ghost of Tsushima feels like what Assassin's Creed should have evolved into. Instead of becoming Odyssey and Valhalla, it should have been that, right? So, now, I feel if Ubisoft stays on the path they're on, they could be very successful. if they continue to make this stealth style game, but balance that with the other open world RPGs every once in a while and maybe alternate between those titles, I think that Assassin's Creed could probably be in pretty good hands. Then you could pick and choose. You don't have to play every game. Play this one that's your style. Or if you like them both, play them both, right? I liked the fact that with Mirage, it was a quick 20-hour experience with a decent story, fun gameplay elements, a good universe, and great graphics. I'll be honest, it was full of bugs. And I think that's kind of the problem with some of these games is they just don't take enough time to really test them and refine them and polish them enough. The game had polish, but then all of a sudden I fuse into a wall. And it takes me 10 minutes to get out of the wall. I have objects fused to my hand that won't come off, and they're killing the immersion of the game. The camera glitches and sticks in the sky at an isometric view that the game's not intended to be in for 90 minutes. And the biggest insult to me, the ending. Without spoiling, because the thing is, the ending of my playthrough was so funny, people laughed their asses off that were on the stream. The problem is, this ridiculously funny bug happened during the final boss fight, and I don't want to spoil for you guys what the final boss or the ending of the game is, because I think that would be kind of messed up if I did. But this hilarious thing happened, and someone even made a YouTube short of it, and I was like, thanks, but I'm actually very apprehensive about releasing the short. I don't want to spoil the ending of the game for people, because the game's only a week and a half old. I think that'd be pretty messed up to put a short out there that literally spoils the end of the game, you see? So I don't really want to do that. Maybe I'll wait a few weeks and then I'll release the YouTube short. But just to give you an idea, the final boss glitched so horribly, it refused to hit me. Myself and the final boss started running in circles like this, and no one ever swung at each other. And then I stood in place, and the final boss proceeded to run around me in circles and never attack. And never attacked at all. I literally just stood there and said, hit, and the boss would flinch, and then keep running around me again. And I would hit, and running around me again. And I was like, what the fuck happened? And it's what I mean, like, the game is good, it's fun. But that's Ubisoft. They don't really refine or polish their games. This has been par for the course since they started this series. I just don't know why they don't do a better job at, QA, essentially. Because how the hell did this not happen to anyone else but me? I really have a hard time believing the final boss doesn't glitch and I was the only one who had that problem. Anyway. Overall, I really enjoyed Assassin's Creed Mirage. I'll tell you what's the most disappointing part. The story. Do you want to know why? Because this is kind of a spoiler, but not really. If you've played Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you know that the story of this game is wild. Like, it's about Norse gods, and the Norse gods actually were these Isu creatures who are the gods of humanity, but you found out previously in the Assassin's Creed franchise they're probably aliens or something that put technology on Earth, these artifacts like the Apple of Eden and the Staff and all this other stuff, right? The Trident. These are all artifacts from these Isu aliens or whoever they are. So without going too crazy into the convoluted story, the entire ending of Valhalla is this big convoluted mess of there's Isu that are alive and they're remembering who they used to be and all this crap, right? With basically, Assassin's Creed Mirage is a great game, but at the end of the game, it's revealed the entire game is a prequel story to one of the characters who was in Valhalla, and the prequel story literally doesn't matter at all. This would be like, how can I say? This would be like, there's already an established franchise with a character who, you know who they are, you know what they stand for, and then they decided to do a standalone prequel movie about the character, and that's fine, but it's just not that interesting because you already know what's going to happen to the character in the future, right? I mean, they even do that. Take a look at Solo. Remember they just did the Han Solo movie several years ago and how it tanked miserably? It's like it's a prequel movie to a character that's been established in Star Wars for so long. Nobody cares about a prequel, And I feel like, sadly, that's what this game is. When you start playing the game, you're thinking, oh, something good's going to come out of this in the story. It's going to be an interesting narrative that'll add to the whole overarching story of Assassin's Creed. When you beat the game, you realize, I just wasted 20 hours. Right? Like, seriously. It's like, huh? Why did I just waste 20 hours? Why did they not at least make this game feel significant? It's not. The ending actually makes you feel so deflated because you feel like you played a fine game, but that it didn't matter in the grand scheme of the Assassin's Creed universe. It was just a waste of time. And that pissed me off. I was like, why on earth did they not do a good job of making this feel meaningful? It doesn't. It feels like a time waster, essentially, which kind of sucks. Because again, if this is the game that's supposed to get you back into the classic assassinations, the stealth aspect, make it a meaningful game so that it feels like you spent time doing something that was important. No, the entire game, when it ends, you're like, wow, that was a complete waste of 20 hours. So anyway, overall, I think it's a fine game. I will be honest with you guys. I recommend that you get Ubisoft Plus, which is their monthly subscription service. I got it for $18 and immediately canceled it. So by getting it for $18 and canceling it, I was able to get Assassin's Creed Mirage, play the entirety of the game within a week and a half, and now I don't ever have to spend another dollar. It's done, you know? And, I mean, I still have 2 weeks. If I wanted to play more Ubisoft games, I could, but there's really nothing particularly coming out in the next 2 weeks that's, you know, new, and I'm not going to play classic games when there's all these other new games out. But that's what I would say. That's how I would handle it. I seriously would not drop $50 for that game, just being honest. A 20-hour experience, it has bugs, and it's an insignificant plot. I would do 1 month Ubisoft Plus to play it. Play it for $18. That's my recommendation. You can do whatever you want, because maybe you're the kind of person you want to own the digital license forever or whatever. I don't see people going back. I don't see you buying it for $50 and playing it again. So I don't really see the point of spending $50 on it. You know what I mean? So, anyway. That's Assassin's Creed Mirage. Last night, I played Starfield for the first time in weeks. And I focused solely on the story. And the story was getting interesting. Now, I don't know if the story will continue to ramp up and get more and more interesting the further into the game we get. Because now we're about 40 hours in. But it definitely was interesting last night. A whole new, like, enemy was introduced to the game that I wasn't expecting at this point. I wasn't expecting new enemies and things to be introduced, and they are, which is kind of neat. And now there's a new ongoing plot line and mystery that's happening. That I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So I'm actually eager to play more Starfield on Wednesday night and see where this plot goes. I'm just not too confident that it's going to go somewhere satisfactory by the end of the game. But so far, that was a really cool twist and a new, you know, plot line introduced last night, and I actually really enjoyed it. I ended my stream in a bad place because basically there's a situation in the game where someone's out to get you and you have to escape, but you don't know at first that this enemy, if you can believe it, is invincible. You think, oh, maybe I can fight them. So you start pulling out weapons and shooting, and what ends up happening is you're in the middle of a city when you're doing this, so there's collateral damage that's unavoidable. It's just going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. You don't know you're supposed to be running and escaping. You think maybe you can fight this thing. So I unload into the enemy, and after about, 5 minutes of trying to fight it, I realized there's no way to kill this thing. Like, I've been trying the whole time. It's not going to die. It's just going to keep following me, so I guess I just got to escape. So I escape, and then come to find out, like, the entirety of the galaxy hates me. Oh, well, because you unloaded in the middle of that city, there was collateral damage. Now there's a million bounties on your head, and everyone wants you dead. And I'm like, now, wait a minute. Let's think about this for a second, okay? This is a actual main story beat, a main story plot line in the game, that this segment happens. It's scripted that this happens, that you're hunted and something's coming after you, and you have to escape. But at first, you don't know you have to escape. So, you, of course, the first thing you're going to think about is, let me try to fight and see if I can, defend myself. Everyone's going to do this. So why not, during this portion of the game, have a special element where you don't get bounties for fighting the thing because you're fighting it in a city? I just want you to think about how stupid that is. They knew this was a major part of the plot. They knew that most people would probably try to at least once fight back. And instead of saying, okay, let's suspend this element. This isn't someone outright committing a crime in the city. This is someone trying to defend themselves because there's something after them. And let's just make it so that this part of the game is fun. It's fast-paced. You try to fight it, you fail, then you run on to the next part of the story. No, that was too hard for Bethesda. That would actually have taken some effort to kind of like code that into the game. So instead, still have all the bounties and all the systems in place as if this story element isn't happening, ignoring it, right? Like, oh, someone's defending themselves from something trying to kill them. Oh, they committed heinous crimes. What are you talking about? This thing was killing everything. So what are you talking, like, what the fuck? It's just really badly done, in my opinion. Just like a lot of parts of this game. It feels like they laid the groundwork for something good, but they only did like the very base level work, and they never bothered to go anything past that base level of understanding of what the game should have been. You know, just suspend the fucking bounty system for 5 minutes during the segment. Then you could play through it and then reinstate it after the segment's over. Is that so hard? Like, really, is that so fucking hard? It's like game programming 101. I could have easily told you, as a game director, I could have told you, do that. This makes sense. It makes the game fun. But I guess that's not what they were going for. Fun? Oh, they don't want that in Starfield. So, it actually is pretty stupid in my opinion. So what's going to end up happening probably is I'm probably going to have to reload the game. Luckily, I did a hard save like right before that story element had happened. So I'm probably going to have to reload it and then play it differently, which is going to be stupid. You know, I'm going to tell you a pet peeve of mine. All right? As you guys know, when I play these kind of RPGs, I make important decisions, right? Sometimes you have morality decisions to make, gameplay decisions to make on your build or your leveling or whatever you're going to do. And 99% of the time, unless there's a very strong reason to not do this, I would always stick with what happens. I do not usually save scum during these kind of games. I want it to feel like an honest first-time playthrough is an honest first-time playthrough where my decisions stick and there's direct consequences and repercussions for my choices and actions during my honest first playthrough, right? Did you know there are plenty of people going out there doing playthroughs of these kind of games? They don't do that. They literally, before every single major decision, they do a hard save. And then they'll actually do every option to see the different ones. And then they'll pick the best one and stay with that one. Talk about, you know, going through life being a pussy. I'm sorry, but that's a pet peeve of mine. If you're someone who's playing for yourself and you want to do that, I mean, that's fine. But imagine if you're doing a playthrough for a live audience or an audience on YouTube on demand, right? And you cannot commit to any choices you make. You have to actually always pick the optimal outcome for every choice. Like, what the fuck kind of going through a game is that? Like, that drives me bonkers. I remember even back in the day when I was playing Fallout 3 in New Vegas, I said to the audience, listen, when I make a decision, it sticks. That's the whole point, is that you have to live with the repercussions of your choices. And it makes the playthrough more interesting. It really does. And that really drives me nuts that there's people out there that will abuse the game system and just get around everything, you know? So for me, I don't like reloading. I don't, unless I have to. Like, let's say I'm completely out of lockpicks and there's only one, I have to go through a locked door and it's really tough to lockpick, then I'll save scum to get through there so we can continue on with the playthrough or whatever. But when it comes to a game like this, I don't like having to reload story segments and redo them because something didn't go my way. I wish there was a way to get out of the situation that I'm in right now, but it certainly does not seem like that, right? So, I guess when we play again on Wednesday night, we're going to probably have to reload. What else can I say? We're going to have to. I don't know what else to do. I hate that, but it is a pet peeve of mine, and I wish that they designed the game better. But it looks like we have to reload to go back before this chaos ensued. And essentially, now that I know that this thing that's out to hunt me literally cannot be killed, what's the point in even fighting it? Right? Instead, I'm just going to have to run. I'm just going to have to book it, and that way, hopefully, I won't, have no collateral damage and just get out of there. And hopefully then, it'll just continue on with the main storyline or whatever, and there won't be any issue, right? That's all I could think of to do to fix the situation. I don't know what else I should be doing, so, all right, anyway, so that's good, and I hope that you guys will join me for more Starfield later on the week, Wednesday night. I'm actually excited to see where the story goes at this point. I don't know how much is left in the main story of the game, because we do still have 2 factions and a few companion quests to do as well before we kind of essentially beat the game. So we'll see what happens. But Wednesday night, more Starfield, and we'll have to get out of that situation, okay? All right, so yesterday was a pretty good streaming day. I'm glad that we finished Mirage. I was happy to wrap that up so that way we don't have a lingering playthrough. And actually, it was a pretty good stream of Starfield, too. So overall, a great day. And if you did not know, last night, I released my review of Scream 6, over on DSP Reacts. That's my sister channel where I put out React style content as well as movie reviews and other things. And all I'm going to say is I really liked Scream 6. And this is coming from someone who is very critical of movies like Scream 3 and 4. I thought 3 and 4 were very bad movies. I actually think 5 was good and 6 was really good. So I really enjoyed it. And go check out the review. All right? Now, what else is coming this month in regards to horror and reviews and stuff? Well, ladies and gentlemen, last night I saw Halloween Ends. Yes, I did. So I completed the modern Halloween trilogy last night. And I'm not going to spoil my review. I'm going to stay tight-lipped about this one. I'm not going to say a word about it. It seems like a lot of people hate this movie. I'm not going to tell you my thoughts about it at all. I'm going to reserve my thoughts for the review. When will I review it? Either tonight or tomorrow. Really depends on how things go tonight or tomorrow. But I can promise you by the time that I'm out of here for this week, end of Wednesday, I will have that review filmed and uploaded to DSP React. Okay? That would be my 6th horror movie review for the month. So far, I've reviewed Halloween 2018, Scream 5, Halloween Kills, Barbarian, Scream 6, and then it'll be Halloween Ends. But I'm not done because I want to watch more. And we still have about another week and a half until Halloween. So what I'm thinking is I will try to watch some more stuff that is kind of like bonus content, stuff I wasn't intending on originally watching, but I've gotten through so much already, I think I could watch some more. Now, what would I watch? One movie I'm absolutely interested in is Dr. Sleep. This is the sequel to The Shining. The Shining is such a classic horror movie. You know, Stephen King, Stanley Kubrick, really great movie. And so I'm excited to watch this sequel that came out a few years ago. People say it's really good, but it's very long. So I need to have time to watch it. You know what I don't like? I don't like a horror movie that you watch in parts. I like watching a whole horror movie at once. But the movie's long. Isn't it almost 3 hours long? Like, how the fuck am I going to watch that in one night? I can't. Unless I don't go to sleep and I'm fucking tired as shit the next day, right? So I don't know. I gotta try to find the time to watch this damn movie. So that's one I want to watch. And then outside of that, do you guys have any recommendations of other horror movies that I should watch by the end of the month and review? I would love to hear your feedback on this because I've gotten through the movies that I was actually intending on watching this month already. So what else would you guys like to possibly see me watch and review? Now, before people start saying stuff, I've already seen The Witch, Hereditary, Midsommar. I don't like those movies. All right? I'm not going to watch and review. I already watched them. I don't like them. They're boring to me. They're not scary at all. They put me to sleep. Okay? Sadly, I know some people have said watch Malignant. Last year, I saw a plot synopsis of Malignant that spoiled the movie. I also saw a plot synopsis of Smile that spoiled the movie. And now I regret that. Like, I actually legit regret watching those plot synopses because now I know what the movies are and I have no desire to watch them and review them. And that sucks. I never should have done that. I mean, that's the key with a horror movie is not knowing what's going on. Because the air of mystery and element of, like, thriller style. I totally shouldn't have done that. And I blame myself. Last year, for, like, Halloween, I was in a horror mood. But I didn't have time to watch a lot of movies. So I started watching plot synopses on YouTube. And it just ruined a bunch of movies for me. And I don't know why the hell I did that. That was really stupid. I will openly admit, 100% I take responsibility for being dumb. Don't watch plot synopses of horror movies. Watch the movie first if you're confused. Then watch a synopsis after the fact that will explain it. But don't spoil the fucking movie before you've seen it. That was really dumb. Alright? So, if you guys have any other recommendations of movies for me to watch, horror movies, please let me know. However, I do know there's a few horror movies that just recently came out. I'm not going to be dropping $15, $20 on a movie. You know, if it's like $3 to rent, that's one thing. If it's like $20, fuck that. I'll wait, you know? So just so you know, I'm not, if there's a new movie that just came out, rent it and watch it. No, not for $20. I'm not doing that, all right? Now, I'm also under the impression, is it not true that the Five Nights at Freddy's movie releases at the end of this month, right? And you guys know I'm no fan of that franchise. I don't think those games are scary in any way, shape, or form. I think that they're fucking stupidly boring and just not scary in any way, right? But maybe that would be a good one to review, to actually watch it on release night and review it and have my review come out within a day or two of the movie being out. But isn't it on? I think people were saying it's on Peacock, and I don't have Peacock, so I guess I would have to get the trial of Peacock, right? Right? I think it's Peacock. It launches on Peacock day one. Okay, I might, if you guys, now I want your feedback. If you're not interested, then I won't do it. If you guys are interested, I absolutely will. I will get this, and I will watch it on day one, and I'll review it the next day for you. If you want to see me watch and review Five Nights at Freddy's, I'll do that for you. All right? But that's up to you. I want your feedback on if you want that or not. Okay? And then that could be like the last thing I do for October Horror Month. Because I'm thinking I'll review Dr. Sleep. If I have a chance, I'll review Five Nights at Freddy's. And then if I do have a chance to review anything else in the meantime, I'll do that. Now also, I just want you to know, in November, I kind of want to keep up some reviews. Of course, they don't have to be horror movies anymore. Hold on, I got a burp. Oh, it went away. Anyway, no, I'm definitely considering in November doing some different stuff. For example, for what I'm to understand, season 2 of Invincible releases the first week of November, correct? Now, I've never seen Invincible. It's on Amazon Prime Video. It's been sitting there for like a year, 2 years to watch, and I never watched it. So if you guys want me to review Invincible season 2, I would watch the entire season 1 basically at the end of October into early November, and then when the new season comes out, I'll watch it and review it. Now, I don't know how Amazon works. Does Amazon drop the entire season at once? Is that how Amazon works? I think it is, right? It's not like Max. In Max, they'll like release one episode a week. But I think on Amazon Prime Video, I think they drop like the entire season at once, correct? So if that's the case, I guess what I would have to do, I would have to do like episodes, all right? Correct? I would have to do like, okay, if let's say it's 10 episodes the season, because I have no idea. So maybe my first video review is the first 3 episodes in one review. And then in a few days' time, I'll watch the next 3 episodes and I'll do part 2 review. And then I could do like a final review that's the end of the season. I don't want to just do one video for the entire season. I think that would be kind of ridiculous, especially if it's 10 episodes. How do you summarize that in 20 minutes? You're not going to be able to, right? So that's kind of what I'm thinking, is to do it like that. But again, do you guys know? No one's really answering me. Does anyone know when Amazon Prime Video drops the season? Is it all at once, or do they space it out? Because remember when I watched The Last of Us earlier this year? That was only one episode a week. So because of that, I had to space out my content. I wasn't able to do it. They do release weekly? Is that true? Oh, shit. If that's the case, then I can only do one episode a week, right? One review a week? It depends on the show. Different shows do it differently. Oh. So how is, so how are they going to do it for Invincible? I'm just curious. The only one that does not release weekly is Netflix. The Rings of Power, they released weekly. Oh, shit. Alright. So, I mean, if that's the case, then I'm going to have to do episode-by-episode reviews. I mean, I guess I have to. Are you guys interested in seeing me review Invincible episode by episode? Someone had also said I should review the Twisted Metal show. Is the Twisted Metal show on Peacock? Because if I get Peacock for Five Nights at Freddy's, then maybe I'll see what else is on Peacock and do some review stuff there too for November. Because December, obviously we all know what I want to do for December. I want to do like a holiday themed month. I want to be reviewing like Christmas stuff. And I can go back and watch classic Christmas movies and review them and let you know some of the ones that I like and some of the ones I don't like. And, you know, I can even watch ones I've never seen before. Like, there's Christmas movies. I've never seen Fred Claus. I've never seen Christmas with the Cranks. I've never seen a bunch of Christmas movies that a lot of you guys reference all the time. So maybe I could go back and watch some of those and review them and let you know what I think of them for the first time. Of course, I also want to review some of my favorites of all time and do reviews of those. So I think that'd be pretty cool. So here's what we'll do. for the next 1 to 2 weeks, I will finish off my horror month probably with the Halloween Ends review, Dr. Sleep review, Five Nights at Freddy's review when it comes out, and maybe if I have time, squeeze in one more. So that'll be the end of October. Then in November, I guess weekly I can start reviewing Invincible Season 2, you know, review each new episode. And then I'll start watching other stuff. If I have Peacock, I guess I could watch the Twisted Metal show if you guys want me to review that. I think that entire show is already out, correct? Oh, Moxerus says, okay, here's how it's going to work. Half of Invincible will release on November 3rd. It's the first 4 episodes. Then the other 4 episodes will each be released weekly. So 4 episodes to start on November 3rd, and then each week a new episode. That's a weird release schedule. Why they do it like that? That is really odd. I guess I'm going to have to figure out how to do it. If that is the case of how they're doing it, that's really confusing. That isn't correct. Now I'm being told that's not correct. Oh my God. How are we going to figure this out? How are we going to figure this out? I want to know how to do this. We can't figure this out. There's a new Goosebumps show that released on Max. There is? I didn't see that. Let me look. I don't see it. Let me search. I don't see that at all. There is nothing Goosebumps on Max whatsoever. Nothing. When you search for Goosebumps on Max, it gives you Beetlejuice, Scooby-Doo, The Mask, Child's Play, and The Corpse Bride. You get 0 matches for Goosebumps. So that is incorrect. Unless you're telling me it's the wrong thing. It is not on Max. That is a lie. Absolutely a lie. How dare you lie to me? It's Hulu and Disney Plus. What? Those are different services. I don't have those. I don't know. I'm not going to get those right now. I'm not. Those are completely different. Okay. All right. So, okay. Here's the plan. All right. Since you guys are really liking the review stuff, I'm down to do more. All right. Rest of this month, I'm going to review Halloween Ends by the end of this week. Next week, I'll probably review Dr. Sleep. At the end of the month, I will review Five Nights at Freddy's. All right. I'll get this Peacock or whatever it is. And I'll see if I can squeeze in another one or two. We'll see. We'll see what I can squeeze in by the end of the month. Then in November, I will start reviewing Invincible Season 2. We have to see exactly how it's going to release. So however it releases, whether I do an episode that reviews, or I do a part that reviews a bunch of episodes or just one each, we'll see. But I'll start reviewing that. In addition to that, I'll see what else is available. Maybe I watch Twisted Metal, or I look for other things. I want to review more than just Invincible over the course of November. All right? Then in December, then I'm going to start doing Christmas stuff. I'll probably do like 2 Christmas movies a week, and I'll review those. So that's good. That's good variety of content for the review channel. I hope that you guys are enjoying it. You know, the views aren't great, but if people are enjoying it, I don't care. Really, if people are enjoying the content and you may be convinced, hey, I like that content, maybe I'll support the channel, I'll do it, you know. I hope that you are watching and you'll give it a look if you like my reviews or you're interested in my thoughts on this stuff. People have been asking me to do movie reviews for years and years and years. So I'm down to do it. I just hope that you'll check it out and support it. Remember, on that channel, DSP Reacts, that is, the weekly react show I do makes nothing, makes 0, because all those videos get claimed. So really, it's reliant on memberships, or if you support like the live streams. That's really how I make stuff on that channel. So I hope you'll show up to the live streams once a week and support them. Or if you become a member on that channel today, that would help a ton. That's how you can support DSP Reacts. Okay? Okay. Let's now do the schedule for the week. Let's talk about that. And then it looks like a bunch of contributions have come in that I need to shout out. All right? So let's talk about this. First of all, today it is the premiere of Sonic Superstars. Yes, I'm excited for this. Obviously, I'm excited for this. Look at the whole setup, right? Hopefully the game is good. Hopefully it's fast-paced action and you guys enjoy watching as much as I like playing it. And again, every time that I play Sonic Superstars, if we hit $100 in tips, I will put on the Sonic hat for the rest of that stream. Also, I should announce this. I have changed up the animations. That is correct. The whole first half of this month, you saw Frankenphil's monster, me sitting on a toilet taking a shit as a T-Rex is about to eat me, and me as the dolls from Child's Play, Chucky, right? Well, I have rotated the animations around. So now you will see different animations for the lower tier tips. You will see Drakenphil or Count Philula, however you want to say. You'll also see me as Beetlejuice, so Beetlephil or Philly Juice. And I think I put the DSP Shining animation back. The Here's Philly. I think I added that one back into the mix as well. So now you will see those animations way more often for lower tiered tips. You know, $5, $10, $20, $30. Those tip animations are different now. I rotated them all around. So if you do lower tip amounts, you'll see those animations. Because the thing is, I really like those animations. I don't want us to not see them because I linked them only to the top contribution levels. Because let's be honest, how often does someone drop a $50 tip? Really, how often does someone drop a $100 tip? It's incredibly rare. So I don't want us to only see those animations like twice a month. That'd be ridiculous because a lot of effort went into them. They're really nice. So there you go. If you contribute with a tip, you're going to see different animations. And I can already tell you we're going to see some of them this morning because some tips have already come in. Okay? All right. So today, Premier Sonic Superstars on this stream. If we get $100 in tips, Sonic hat, and new animations. Tonight on the late stream is Street Fighter 6. Here's what we got to figure out. What are we doing tonight for Street Fighter 6? Because I have no idea at this point, right? I think at this point we've been playing ranked matches for so long, I actually feel like some people are getting burnt out on it. You know, for me, I understand the grind of competitive Street Fighter play. I really do. So I get it. But at the same time, it's stressful. I think people are tired of seeing me get stressed out, honestly. Like, I think some people are like, damn, every time you play this game, you're like swearing, you're pissed at it. And we like seeing you relax a little more. So here's the options for tonight. We have 3 options. Option number 1, I go back and I play Blanca again, and we just continue trying to climb in the master rankings of Street Fighter 6. Okay? Option number 2, instead of playing with Blanca again, maybe I pick a character who I previously tried to learn, like Zangief or Dalsim, and I try to play them maybe with some casual play online and just try to learn the character, rather than worrying so much about being a try-hard and winning every match in ranked. Just trying to, you know, play some casual matches and get a little better with those characters and have some fun. And that way it doesn't matter if I lose because there's no ranking system in place. It's just casual fun with a character that's not as good. Okay? That's an option. And by the way, I was thinking about, like, with Dalsim, there's a lot of stuff I can implement now that I didn't before. I could drive rush. I can drive cancel. Like, there's things that I could do now that I didn't do previously when I played with Dalsim because I was playing him months ago. I was thinking, man, that actually, I might do a lot better with him this time around if I picked him, right? Or the third and final option for Street Fighter 6, which some people seem to actually be asking me for, and this is blowing my mind, we can return to World Tour mode in Street Fighter 6. In fact, this morning, I updated Street Fighter 6 on the Xbox, so it's ready to go. We haven't done World Tour mode in over a month. This is the mode where we play as me, my avatar, and you use all the abilities that you learned from the various World Warriors to go through the open world. You fight generic dudes, you fight the actual fights against the fighters, and there's story elements to it. And every time we play it, there's silly, memeable stuff that happens, okay? Last time around, I found Dalsim, and we learned Dalsim's abilities, and we had actually gone into this second open world area where you explore and do different things, and we had done a bunch of stuff in that area, and that was over a month ago, and then we never actually played it again, all right? So I would be down for whatever you guys want. But I want your feedback. I'm just taking a look now, all right? World Tour is fun. No World Tour. Dalsim Online is the way to go. I think Phil wants World Tour, but I would prefer Blanca multiplayer. We want World Tour. Turd Tour. World Tour is silly fun. I'd love to see you use Cammy. We probably wouldn't do that. Return to Mortal Kombat. That's the stupidest suggestion ever. I'll just ignore that one. I want World Tour, but I fear reprisal from one of our chatters. Make a community poll. World Tour will get no support. Did you just hear that? 672 literally just said in the chat, if you play World Tour, you will not get any support. What do you think of that, guys? What do you think of that? I will get no support whatsoever if I play. That sounds like a challenge. Does it not? See, if you guys know me, you know when someone says that shit to me, that actually, like, it like lights a fire under my ass, and I'm like, you know what? Now I totally want to play World Tour because he said that. Because now I want to prove that it doesn't matter what mode I'm playing in a game, that people will show up because they're having a good time and they will support. It doesn't matter if it's multiplayer or World Tour or if I'm picking my ass, right? Seriously, now you have not really upset me, but you have inspired me to possibly play World Tour tonight, right? Oh my goodness. Backfired 672. It backfired. So anyway, here's what I'll say. I am leaning either towards like maybe playing with Dalsim tonight in casual matches or World Tour. Like that's what I'm leaning towards. I'll be honest, I do feel like we're kind of burnt out on the ranked master matches at this point. I'm not saying we're not going to go back to them. I do think we will. But I do feel like it's kind of, you know, we've been doing it so much now that it kind of loses its meaning and it gets kind of boring and more of a grind and more of a frustrating grind, right? I mean, let's be honest. Last time around, you go to play and one of my matches is against someone with a 230 millisecond connection who's lower ranked than me, but there's no way to play him because the game's lagging like crazy. And then when he wins, I lose an insane amount of fucking master ranking points. Like, it's my fucking fault that the connection is shit, and I get punished for it. Yeah, that's bullshit. And it makes me, like, not want to play ranked at this point. Really, it does. It makes me get pissed. Like, I don't even want to fucking play ranked now. Not that you're going to fucking act like that. Dumb game, right? So, anyway, we're playing Street Fighter tonight, but what are we doing? I'm on the fence. I would say either World Tour or maybe Dalsim casual matches and trying to learn Dalsim, right? That's my two takes. So give me your feedback. Let me know what you think. And dependent on how we talk and what people say today, because I'll probably ask the audience several times during today's stream, what should we do for the late stream? It's Street Fighter 6 either way. So please show up and please hang out with me tonight for Street Fighter 6. But I don't really know what to do for the late stream. By the way, excuse me. That was absolutely revoltingly disgusting. I did not mean to belch into the mic like that. I'm very sorry. Okay? All right. So, tonight, Street Fighter 6, I just don't know what yet. Fair enough? Tomorrow, it's another major stream of Sonic Superstars on the daytime stream. And then tomorrow night's late stream will be more Starfield, which I'm actually very excited to jump into, because I want to see this plot continue. Like, this plot has a big twist, and there's actually stuff going on now in the plot that's interesting. So I want to see it move forward and advance and continue. So I'm actually excited for Starfield tomorrow night. I hope you'll join me for that. Okay? Now, I'm off from streaming on Thursday. When I come back on Friday, it's a double new release day. Spider-Man 2 on the daytime stream premiering, and Super Mario Wonder on the late stream premiering. However, I was thinking about this, and you know, I'm a little worried. Do you want to know why I'm worried? Probably you do, right? Super Mario Wonder has actually got me worried. Do you want to know why? Because I was thinking about my Switch, and I was like, Super Mario Wonder is an old school 2D Mario game. It is not 3D. It's a 2D platformer. What's the best way to play a 2D platformer? D-pad. That's how everyone grew up playing these platformers, is on a D-pad. That's actually why I opted to get Sonic Superstars on Xbox, because I like the D-pad on the Xbox controller. Well, I have 3 different controllers for the Switch. I have the standard Joy-Cons, which I have literally not used since the launch of the console. They're terrible. Everyone knows Joy-Cons are terrible. That's why I've never used them. I have the Switch Pro controller, okay? And the Switch Pro controller works well, except for the D-pad. The D-pad is faulty and always has been. Nintendo never addressed it, never fixed it. The Pro controller D-pad is a broken piece of shit. You'll be pressing forward and it'll press up. You'll be pressing down and it'll go backwards. It's a junk. You can't play on it. It's just a piece of shit D-pad. So I can't use that Pro Controller unless I use the thumbstick. But is Mario Wonder designed for a thumbstick as a platformer, or is it lend itself more to a D-pad? I do have a third controller. It's a Hori controller. But the Hori controller does not really have a D-pad. It has 4 buttons with a D-pad attachment you can put on top. It does work better than the Pro Controller, but it's still not great. I really don't have any good D-pads for the Switch. Yet I'm about to play a 2D game on the Switch. And like, oh shit. So I actually don't know what to do. You know, I'm thinking about, like, how am I going to play this game when I don't really have a proper controller for it, right? I'm gonna have to use the Hori, I'm thinking. I almost thought I had another option, but I don't. So the other option I was thinking of, if you remember, years ago, Hori sent me controller attachments for the Switch so that the Switch turns into an actual game controller. That they're way better than the Joy-Cons. They actually feel like a real controller. Like, it looks like the two ends of an Xbox controller, and they attach to the sides of the Switch. They're really good. The problem is they need the Switch as a power source, because I was thinking, oh, I could use those. Remember, there's this central piece that you could attach the Joy-Cons to and use it as a controller. But I was thinking, no, they don't have batteries in them. Those are literally powered by the Switch. You have to have them attached to the Switch. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess we're going to have to try to figure this out. I'm likely going to end up having to use the Hori controller for the first time in many years. I'll have to clean it off, and hopefully it controls well, because Nintendo, I mean, just think about how dumb that is. The Joy-Cons suck. That's what comes with the console. Then you buy the Pad Pro, and the Pro sucks too. How does Nintendo not know how to make a D-pad? They're fucking Nintendo. They're the ones who started the fucking D-pad, and they don't know how to make one on a modern console. It's pretty ridiculous, isn't it? But anyway, so Friday will be the premiere of Spider-Man 2 and Super Mario Wonder. Then on Saturday, we're flipping that. It's going to be Super Mario Wonder on the first stream and Spider-Man 2 on the late stream. Now, you may have noticed the big omission. Wait a minute. There's no Friday night fights? No, there's no Friday night fights. Now that we're into this very busy gaming season, the focus will be on the new games. You know, Street Fighter 6 is probably going to go on a hiatus or only be played like maybe once in a week, because there's just too much else going on. I have to play the new games as much as possible to make advancement in them, and I need those night streams for that. I can't only have them as day streams. I'll never finish any games, you see? So there's no Friday night fights. There is probably little to no Street Fighter coming up next week, all right? So Sunday will be the React show. Sunday night is up in the air. It could be Sonic Superstars. It could be Street Fighter 6, right? And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week will be a balance between Sonic Superstars, Mario Wonder, and Spider-Man 2, and alternating between those three games in different orders, and that's the week. Keep in mind, on Friday the 27th, that's the release of Alan Wake 2. And that's got to hit the rotation. And being that that's a horror game, then probably the hype for that game is off the charts for those who liked original Alan Wake. That's probably going to end up being my major focus over that entire weekend leading into Halloween. So, yeah, we're going to be in crazy gaming overdrive starting, you know, today and heading into this Friday. It's going to get even worse. And then the week after that, it's going to get even worse. Jasper, do not chew my wires. You know better. I know you're trying to get attention. So I'm going to be very patient with you. Do not chew that headphone wire. Please stop. Okay? Please be a good cat. Sound good? He's playing with the wire. Jasper. Hey, Jasper Kitty. Jasper Kitty. Please don't chew the headphone wire. Please stop chewing it. You can play with it, but don't chew it, okay? I need that wire to hear. If I can't hear, I have no sound in games, and then I can't play video games. People would be very upset with you if I couldn't play video games, Jasper. Jasper, please stop biting that wire. Stop that right now. Jasper, release the wire. Release. Hey, release. Release that. Hey, release. Release. See, I'm trying to be nice and calm today. I'm not going to get excited. I'm just going to be very calm and cool and collected today. I'm not going to get too upset about anything. I refuse. There you go. Okay. Anyway, so, ladies and gents, that is what's going on. Please, guys, support the streams today. You guys know the ways to do it. You know that tips help me more than anything right now to afford all these new games. Plus, because the YouTube payment's going to be delayed this weekend, it would be great to have some tips to help me make up for that and pay my bills over the next few days. So please consider tipping if you can. Another way, a great way you can help right now, memberships. Yeah, we are down, I'm not kidding, 200 memberships. Ouch. Yeah, that hurts. That's a lot of memberships we lost over this month. It would be great to get some of those back. If you're someone who likes the channel, likes the content, wants to support the community, please consider gifting some memberships today. That would definitely help get us back on the right track and towards the right direction. I do feel that once we start with these new games and the Halloween event happens, that things will get more exciting with that. But right now, there's not much that can really be done. You know, it is what it is. Please consider supporting the channel. All right, let us begin with shout-outs, because we have a lot of shout-outs to do. We start off today with King Be Cruel, who has been a 29-month member. Says, I can't believe you timed me out, bro. It's the first time ever. I didn't time you out. So I think you're mistaken. If you did get timed out, it sounds like a moderator might have timed you out, or maybe Nightbot timed you out. I have no idea what you're talking about or what the situation is. Sorry. I don't know what to say. Thanks for 29 months of support, but I don't know what else to say because I wasn't involved. Okay? Gothi Senpai became a member this morning. Thank you to Gothi Senpai for becoming a member today. I really appreciate that. And in fact, let's add that now to our number of members for the day. Thank you so much. Radical Jaws re-upped his membership for 11 months, and he says, 11 months, wow, do you enjoy Caesar salads? I do. But did you know, this is interesting, did you know that a true Caesar salad is supposed to have anchovies in it? Did you know that? A lot of people don't know that. That Caesar salad is supposed to have anchovies, you know, fish in it. But what happens is a lot of people, like these days, don't like anchovies, or they're weirded out by little fish. So instead, did you know that true Caesar salad dressing has anchovies in the dressing? And a lot of people don't know what, they're like, oh, I wonder what that flavor is in the dressing that makes it unique. It's two things. It's actually three things. I think it's pepper, black pepper, Parmesan cheese, and anchovies. Those are the three key flavor ingredients in Caesar dressing. So I do like Caesar dressing. I like it with like a chopped up like romaine lettuce and like croutons, some shredded Parmesan cheese on top with Caesar dressing. That's like a classic Caesar in America. Although it should have anchovies, most places don't put anchovies into it anymore. They just rely on the dressing. But I do enjoy a nice, I like chicken Caesar salad. Get a nice grilled chicken breast, grilled, chop it up into strips, warm it, put it on top, toss it into the salad. Dude, that's really good. That's absolutely delicious. All right. Thank you. Gothi Senpai just gifted 10 memberships to the channel. Thank you, Gothi Senpai. For some odd reason, it didn't track the names of the people who got it. If I click on this, yeah, see, it doesn't say. Yeah, it's not. I wanted to see who got them, but it won't let me see. Maybe if I refresh my queue over here. Hold on. Thank you so much, Gothi Senpai. A membership for yourself, and then you purchase 10 gifted memberships for the chat. That is much appreciated. Yeah, I can't. I see it looks like Executioner and Iroquois Pilskin got one. But maybe if I scroll all the way up, I can find it. It looks like Nota Snake, Alex from Phoenix, Necromancer, Billy Hunter, Steak Sandwich, Jade Van Zyl, Blastoise, and My Ruin each received a gifted membership. Excellent. Everyone who just got a gifted membership, be sure to thank Gothi Senpai. All right. So with that, the good news is we did hit what I actually was looking to at least get for memberships today, and we didn't even start with the game yet. So I'm just going to arbitrarily increase it. Understand, I'm happy with what we got. I'm not. Thank you so much, Gothi Senpai. That will help us get back in the right direction. Because like I said, we were at 650 members just a couple weeks ago. And sadly, we lost all those memberships over the month. So this will definitely push us back into the right direction. And thank you again, Gothi Senpai. Happy Halloween month, I should say. And everyone who just got one, please thank Gothi Senpai for that support. Okay? All right. Now that we're on the right track, let's get to tips, shall we? So our first tip for the day is a $4.20 tip. From Supersonic Feet. He says, Phil, it is time for Sonic Hype. I'm going to get the game later because I'm saving for Mario, but I can't wait to see you play it today. Cool. I get a feeling, sadly, that's going to be the situation. When you have two major 2D platformers literally releasing on exactly the same day, you're going to have a lot of people who have to make a tough choice which one they want to play first, right? And you know, in a case like this where it's the old school heated rivals of Mario versus Sonic, I mean, these guys used to be rivals in the 1990s, and now it looks like the rivalry is renewing, right? I'm curious what's going to happen, but let's be honest. Most people who own a Switch buy every first-party game for Switch. So it's kind of like there's already an installed player base for Mario on the Switch. While with Sonic, it's cross-platform. There is no home console for it. So it might be harder for Sonic to sell. But if it's a good game, I hope it sells well. We'll find out today for ourselves as I play it. And I am very excited for it. But let's see what happens, okay? Yeah, it's weird that it's back to Sonic, Mario vs. Sonic again. It's like, how the hell did we get back here? It's been a long time, right? Okay. Continuing on. I have received a $15 tip from Gothi Senpai. So first of all, let's go ahead and do the new animation. This should be an animation the likes of which you guys have not really seen much this month. There you go. Very nice. Oh, God. Okay. That's the second half of this animation is scarier than the first half. Look at that. Very nice. Thank you very much to Gothi Senpai for a $15 tip. Let's get that up on the leaderboard. What was that actress's name? I forgot her name. She was in a lot of like movies and horror back in the day, like in the 1970s and 80s. I've totally forgotten her name. And no, I don't. It's not me. Whoever the actual actress was in the movie. Not Phil. No. Anyway, so Gothi Senpai says, "Hey Phil, my favorite horror movie is Sadako versus Kiyako." Shelley Duvall. Thank you. That was Shelley Duvall. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Philly Duvall in that animation. It's very, very disturbing. Anyway, so my favorite horror movie is Sadako versus Kiyako on Prime Video. It's The Ring versus The Grudge, but the Japanese versions. It's actually really terrifying, but had funny moments. It'd be a good review to compare to the American versions to Japanese versions of those characters. How the hell? How did they have that crossover, those two universes? Does the ghost from The Grudge watch the videotape from The Ring and get haunted by Sadako? Because Sadako only haunts those who watch the tape, right? Then again, I mean, I've only seen the original, so maybe it's changed since then. Maybe the plotline evolved. And now there's another way that Sadako haunts you and tries to kill you, right? Because I don't know why Sadako would go after the ghost from The Grudge. And isn't the ghost from The Grudge, isn't it limited to those who go in that haunted house? Correct? That if you go into the haunted house, then it'll haunt you like forever, and you can't get rid of it. Oh, no, excuse me. Corey Trevor Smoke says, they both try to kill the same people. Wait a minute. Oh my God. Imagine this. Imagine you go into the house that's haunted by the ghosts from The Grudge. But as those ghosts are going to come out and try to kill you, you watch the videotape from The Ring. And so the ghost from the ring also is coming to get you. And then the ghosts have to compete to kill you, but they fight each other. That is the stupidest premise I've ever heard for a horror movie. Gandhi Senpai says Sadako haunts anyone who sees her, helps who is cursed by her, and anyone that watches the tape. The curses are different in the Japanese version. Helps who is cursed? Why would she help who's cursed? Huh? This sounds fascinating. It's on Prime Video, is it really? Oh, it's not. No, it's not. You have to buy the movie. Or you have to subscribe to Shudder. So I can't watch it. It may be regional. Sadly, a lot of these movies are regional, and it's not on there for me. He says you have to subscribe to Shudder or AMC Plus or buy for $12. I'm definitely not buying it. So. Don't. Because I probably would have watched it. Like, no exaggeration, I probably would have watched that movie, too. Don't. It looks like... Oh my god. There's been a series of horror movies of the different ghosts fighting each other. Hikiko versus Sadako. Or Sadako. And then... Are you kidding? They remade the Ringu? They remade it. Like 5 times. What the fuck? Yo, there's like 100 remakes of The Ring. There's Ringu, Ringu 2, Ringu 0. Oh my god. Alright, forget it. There's too many movies. I have to watch like 400 movies to even understand the lore of that series. Anyway. And the problem is none of them were available either. You have to buy them all, so I'm definitely not doing that right now. Okay. Anyway, another tip is coming. $1.25 tip. From an anonymous tipper, you should review that Digital Circus pilot you reacted to the other day. It's something short for you, viral and timely. It's basically free views. I watched like 5 minutes of it. It was interesting, but I couldn't tell what it was going to be because we only watched like 5 minutes of it, right? It was too hard to really figure out. Would it end up being horror? Would it end up being comedy? What would it end up being? You couldn't tell from the first, like, fourth of the show. But it is a pilot, so it's probably trying to establish itself, right? Maybe I would do that. I don't know. Anyone want to see me finish watching that? It's funny because no one really asked for that, besides you, anonymous tipper. No one else has really mentioned that. So, okay. Alright, so I think we're caught up now. We are caught up now, yes. Okay. So, now we have a little bit of time for open Q&A or anything if you guys want to do to end the show here. Anyone have any topics they'd like to talk about? Anything to discuss before we jump into Sonic today? By the way, just quick reminder. Please vote for the Halloween games. That poll has been live now for 36 hours. It looks like definitely Resident Evil 0 is the leader on the poll, but that could change because that poll is going to be running for like 2 weeks. So please vote by typing !Halloween in the chat or by just going to the community tab on the channel. You'll find the poll there. Please vote. Of course, please remember to keep submitting suggestions in the suggestion box. That we're going to review in early November. Howard Flint popped the 2-month re-upping membership message. Thank you for that. Is Cabin in the Woods a horror movie? I never saw it. I know what it is. Wasn't it supposed to be that it starts off as a horror movie, but then halfway through the movie, you realize that it's not? That it's some kind of a weird, like, sci-fi drama where people have gotten horror villains and put them into a house that murders people, and I guess they're trying to avert the end of the world through blood sacrifice. It's like the weirdest plot ever. I've never seen the movie, but I heard so much about it that I looked into it and tried to understand what it was because a lot of people reference it, right? It's just a really weird movie. Darziak says, YouTube has released a blog just when I started today. Mostly mobile update stuff. They also plan to animate the subscribe and like buttons when you click them. Oh, when you say them? When you say them. Like right now, if I said, hey everyone, click the subscribe button if you like the content. Plus, when you subscribe to the channel, you'll be able to talk in the chat. So that means something would pop up on the screen, an animation or something? It's confusing. Brightburn? What is Brightburn? Someone recommended the movie Brightburn. They said it's $4 on Prime. Yes? Darzek says, yes, when it rolls out. Yes, when it rolls out, when you say subscribe, it'll actually show it on the screen. But when will that roll out? Because I'm just going to say subscribe 400 times to see what happens. Crash the system. Canadian Kirk, thank you for popping your message. He says, I can do it too. It's his re-up message. Thank you for that. Reverse 750 says, do you think Sonic is a game that will be trapped as a side-scroller to be successful because the open world ones just aren't that great? You know, I think it's because it classically started as a side-scrolling game, that those are always going to have nostalgic value. But I do think it could work as a 3D game. Like I said, Frontiers really seemed to hit the formula of what it should be, I feel. Like, I think that if they continue on with that idea and extrapolate upon it and add more and refine it and polish it, then that could be very successful. But I think Frontiers was like the groundwork. What is with this piece of hair? Look at this. What is this? I could put like a plate on there and eat dinner off of my hair there. Why does it do that? Just that one piece. That is so weird. That I have one piece of hair that won't stay like in place and all the rest of my hair is like nice and one piece is fighting me. I feel like it does this every day too, right? Like it just constantly wants to fight me. Maybe I'll go brush my hair before I start. Look at this hair. Now it's really screwed up. Anyway. I received a $2 tip. Horror actress Philly Duvall says, Phil, I got a question and a tidbit of information for Mario. Do you like cheesy, silly horror movies? Sometimes. I've seen some that I think they're more comedic than scary and they're funny. Koji Kondo is confirmed to have taken the reins again to make all the music for the next Mario game. I'm excited. So basically, we're going to go back to those classic tracks. Those snapping tunes, those knee slappers. No, that's the Sonic 2 soundtrack. That's not Koji Kondo. Anyway, that's the Sonic 2 or the Mario 2 soundtrack. That's not Koji Kondo, right? I'm pretty sure it's not. That was the Doki Doki Panic that got turned into Mario 2. That's pretty funny that I say, oh, Koji Kondo. I immediately reference a song that's not Koji Kondo. Anyway. Yeah, some good tunes. That sounds good to me. Hopefully the soundtrack is great come this Friday. I'd be excited for that. I also hope that the music is good in Sonic Superstars. You know, Sonic is synonymous for great soundtracks, right? Jade is saying, what about Jim Carrey's Grinch for Christmas? Ugh. I really don't like that movie. I really, really don't like that movie, but maybe I would review it because a lot of people like the Jim Carrey Grinch movie. I just don't understand why. Besides, maybe you saw it when you were a kid, so because of that, you grew up thinking about that movie as a Christmas movie. You have to understand, I grew up watching the classic Grinch animation. The classic, Dr. Seuss animation. And then when you watch the Jim Carrey live-action Grinch, it makes you want to projectile vomit. The moment it starts, you're like, blah, blah. And then the plot continues, and he's like in love and has a crush on a girl, and it's like, blah, blah. Fuck. What the fuck, man? Brightburn is a movie basically about Superman being evil. Anyway, maybe I will review The Grinch. We'll see. Okay? We'll see. I'll have to think about it. I just have to have a bucket near me if I'm going to watch it. I received a generous $20 tip from none other than the one and only 1 Minute Man. Thank you to 1 Minute Man, obviously, for your ongoing support of the channel. I really, really appreciate that. And now you will will get to see another animation that you've barely seen this month. You ready for this? There you go. Thank you to 1 Minute Man for the biggest tip of the day so far, $20. And let's get that up on the leaderboard. Very nice. Jasper got excited and jumped on the chair there. We've only seen that animation like once. So I'm glad that now we're going to get to see that animation more often for $20 tips. Because I really like that Beetlejuice animation. So I'm happy to be able to see it more. I'm very happy for you, Juan, that your birthday's in 17 days. I hope you have something special planned. Okay. All right. Anything else, guys? Any final words, questions, contributions, anything to talk about, or anything here? Or shall we get set up and begin? Tyler with a super chat this morning says, big ups, keep up the great work. Thank you to Tyler. I appreciate that, Tyler. Any update on the Spider-Man 2 playthrough? Yeah, it's happening Friday. Starts on the first stream, and then it'll be the night stream on Saturday, and then it'll be a major stream I balance for the week and weeks moving forward. Yes. Thank you. Not Eli. It's Tyler. Eli asked me the question. Thank you, Eli, for the question. Thank you, Tyler, for the super chat. Watch the Grinch horror movie? I'm not doing that. No. I want to watch actual Christmas movies during December. I want to be in the holiday spirit. I'm not going to watch stupid horror movies. That's for now. For October. What's up, X-Shooter? How you doing? Would I recommend the Mega Man X collection for a non-fan? You know, I don't know what's in it. I don't think I played it, did I? I never played the collection. So I couldn't recommend it because I don't know, how it plays. I don't know if there's input delay. I don't know what games it features. The classic Mega Man X's, like the first 3 are great. Any of the SNES Mega Man or any NES or SNES Mega Man games, whether it's Mega Man or Mega Man X, are all great. It's not until that series went to PlayStation that there started to be really annoying, inferior games. So, thank you, Cypress. Please update me every day on your impending birthday in 255 days as well. That sounds like a plan. Thank you so much. Okay. Did I ever own a Genesis? I did. I got it late in its life cycle, but I did. I had Super Nintendo first, but then funny story, I started going over my godparents' house, and their daughters always were playing on the Genesis, and I liked it. And then I went, my doctor's office, my dentist's office actually, had a Genesis in the lobby, and I always played Sonic when I was there. And I was like, dude, I love this game. So eventually I got a Genesis. Well, like I said, it was very late into the life cycle. I didn't own that. I think I owned like maybe a dozen games, if that. I didn't own a lot of Genesis games. What do I think of the upcoming Contra game? It looks good, right? It's essentially the sequel to the Contra that came out on the DS, and that was a really good game. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like a super good game. It was essentially like the next installed number of Contra. And this next one's supposed to be the next thing. So, hey, that can only be good. It was a great franchise. Captain DCW says, I actually like the RPG elements of the most recent Assassin's Creeds over Mirage. If that's the case, you know what? That's fine. Because there's nothing wrong with Origins, Odyssey, or Valhalla. I think that where the problems came in is that people still wanted the classic games, and those went away for over 5 years to make room for those new style games, and that's where people were upset. So, hey, I'm, good for you if you like them, good, because I agree there's a lot of content, they're fine games in their own right, but they're definitely not classic style Assassin's Creeds. Yes, we played Castlevania Bloodlines on the Genesis when I got my Genesis Mini many years ago. We did a full playthrough of it. I have no idea where my first Sonic playthrough is. I don't remember what the first Sonic game I played was. Maybe Sonic Colors? I know I played Sonic Colors in Generations, but Colors was before Generations. So maybe it was Sonic Colors. I don't know. Carlton Jr. says, I'd argue the new Assassin's Creed should have been a new IP entirely. I do agree. You know what it is? They wanted to continue with the name notoriety of Assassin's Creed, but make a totally new style of game. And that's where the problem comes in. You know, it's like they release a movie called Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within, and the movie has nothing to do with Final Fantasy, but they want the name recognition. They want people to buy it off of that. It's like when they just made Final Fantasy 16, and the game literally played nothing whatsoever like any Final Fantasy game before it, but they slap Final Fantasy's name on it so people will buy it. Right? It's the same deal. What's my favorite Halloween cereal? I agree with you. It's like Count Chocula. Because Count Chocula started off as like a themed cereal, but then it just lasted all year long, right? The other ones like Frankenberry, Boo Berry, you don't really see them that often, but Count Chocula you see all year. So that's definitely my favorite one of that style. Would I ever play Sonic Unleashed again? When did I play Sonic Unleashed the first time? I don't think I did. Did I? I don't remember playing Sonic Unleashed. Right? Yes, I heard that the next Assassin's Creed game takes place in feudal Japan, and it has a weird name, and it's supposed to be an ongoing universe game. Meaning they're going to generate this giant world map, but apparently they're going to update it over time and add more content or something. They're going with some new formula that basically no one's going to want. But that's what they're going for, apparently. So, people can confirm I never played Sonic Unleashed. Thanks to the Beef Pounder for a membership. Pound away. Pound away. And thank you very much for your support here on DSP Gaming. I appreciate that. Sonic Unleashed is the werewolf one? No, I never played that one. Nope, never played that one. Sheila Booth, you obviously were not here earlier for the stream. He says, do you have the Sonic hat? I literally showed it on this stream. I told you, if we hit $100 in tips during any of the Sonic Superstar streams, I would put on the Sonic hat, right? That's the agreement we have. So, yes. Cypress says the new ongoing game will be tailor-made for Ubisoft Plus. So that makes sense. Instead of buying it, you do this business model where you pay them $18 a month, and then they continuously put out new content for it monthly, right? I guess that makes sense if that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get everyone to subscribe to Ubisoft Plus. Captain DCW is binging all of my Assassin's Creed playthroughs. Good luck with that, because I played quite a few of them. In fact, I played every one, did I not? The only one I never played was Rogue. I played like all the major Assassin's Creed games over the years, just not Rogue. So that's a lot of ground to cover. Alright, guys. I think it's time. I think we should adjourn. My ear's itching me today. I think it's time to end the show and adjourn for now. Because I think people want to see Sonic. They want to see this new Sonic game. Me included. I also want to see Sonic Superstars and see if it's any good. Right? Alright. So thank you all so very much for watching the show. Thanks to those who contributed. Thanks to those who, supported, engaged, gave me ideas. We still got to figure out what I'm doing for Street Fighter tonight. I don't know if I'm doing, like, ranked, or if I'm doing Dalsim Casual, or if I'm doing World Tour. We don't know. We have to determine by the end of this stream so I can announce on, on social media what I'm doing on the late stream so people know. So we have to figure this out. All right, let's talk about it today. But outside of that, I want to say thank you all. Great podcast today. Great topics discussed. Now we have an idea of maybe some of the React content I'll be doing in the next 1 to 2 months when it comes to movies and shows, which is great. And I'm excited. Today is the beginning of the floodgates opening of all these crazy amount of new releases in the next 1 to 2 months. It's going to be exciting and fun. It's going to be a wild ride. And I thank you all. So please enjoy and happy Halloween.